The internet is a cruel mistress. How do I know? It's simple, really. Number 1. YouTube. YouTube's algorithm is very harsh on us sometimes on us content creators, especially with CAPA, favoring quantity over quality. And you know how you always make a YouTube video that is not meant for kids and yet children watch it and it causes your audience to be kids and when that's not your intention at all? Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Because of Object Cosmos, my views have been demanding me to do more and more of Object Cosmos and not my other content. I feel like I should just delete all of my Object Cosmos videos. How I want to start all over again on my channel. But the internet's cruelty is not just based on YouTube. Number 2. Television is dying. If you want me to be more specific, I'm talking about cable network television. The internet's popularity is one of 2 things that is destroying cable network television. The other is streaming services, which also causes theaters to decline. And here's another reason. Famous websites getting shut down, such as Google Plus and Angel Fire. We remember those, right? And one of the tragic victims is Smackjeeves. Oh, Smackjeeves. This used to be one of the greatest webcomic websites ever, but now it's gone. But why is that? It can't be because of any trademarks, let alone any copyright. This website allows you to make any comic you want. It has allowed you to monetize your comics though. But over time, it grew desperate to avoid getting dated. From launching a redesign, deleting important option pages, resetting passwords, and brief region locks. Smackjeeves went through a roller coaster of production, and there was a very good chance that it won't be returning to us anymore. But what caused this decline? Who or what is responsible for the popularity of Smackjeeves? Well, let's take a look at what ruined Smackjeeves. In order to understand the fall of Smackjeeves, we need to go back and see how it came to be. The guy responsible is Daniel Liebherr. I'll probably say his last name wrong. Daniel Liebherr is the founder and CEO of Smackjeeves. From what I could look up, he's had experiences outside of Smackjeeves. He was the founder of BitGlass, a front-end prototype developer at CVS Health, co-founder and lead developer at indie game Stands, front-end web developer at Serve1 Incorporated, business analysis at Wilmington Trust, web developer at Produce Marketing Association, and an intern for McNell Designs for Brighter Minds. Now as of right now, Daniel resides in Delaware, Washington. There, he would use his web skills to make his own website, but his big break would come in the early 2000s. Now I don't know where his experience started off, but it was most likely be in CVS Health, since he was a prototype developer. But after all of his experience, he and his team decided to go ahead and work on Smackjeeves. Right away, the site was very popular. It became a staple for people to host their webcomics. And those who love sprites, even sprite comics. Heck, Smackjeeves even allow you to host your own sprite sheets. Here are some key examples.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
I was a teenager when I got into Smackjeeves, and personally, I liked the name. And it was really sprite comics that really got me attracted to it. It was basically one of my favorite websites before DEVIANT, and many people felt the same way. It brought in millions of viewers, if not billions. All seemed to go well, especially in 2005. Like I said, the early 2000s was the golden years of Smackjeeves. The site was a critical and financial success, and made a ton of money for the founder. But hard times were on the way, and there was going to be a serious problem for Smackjeeves, its owner, and its relationship with the internet. Smackjeeves was treated as one of the main websites of the internet, but in 2010, the site started to decline. Largely because there was no app for mobile devices, as there was very little effort to make the site compatible for users for mobile devices. The popularity for mobile phones has skyrocketed, and Smackjeeves has failed to integrate itself. No mobile app for Smackjeeves was ever made. But that's not even the worst part. Other webcomic websites such as Tapastic, now called Tapas Media, and Webtoons were able to get mobile apps, which Smackjeeves couldn't, even presenting pages in a more Korean style. These two went even as far as to allow viewers to monetize their own comics, something similar to what YouTube allows. And then over time, popular webcomic creators all moved away from Smackjeeves and moved on with Tapastic and Webtoons, leaving Smackjeeves to lose its popularity more and more. To me, this is one of the main reasons of why Smackjeeves has started to decline, both in popularity and views. Smackjeeves decided to pack all of their stuff and move over to other webcomics so they can make money. Another negativity that Smackjeeves would get into is being unrecognizable when it did change. In the early 2019, Daniel had made a new design for Smackjeeves, but this new design had some big problems. For one, it reduces the artist's ability to customize the pages by enforcing a uniform look and limiting the lines. This new change even went as far as to delete pages, like the blogs, the casts, and even info pages, and stripping the artist's ability to moderate comments, closing community forums, and resetting passwords that are deemed weak. All of these deleted elements were what made Smackjeeves decent from other webcomic websites. This decision has obviously backfired, because the remaining artists who all liked Smackjeeves all began leaving in large numbers, moving their stuff primarily to Comic Fury and other similar websites, such as Variety, Newgrounds, and DeviantArt. Things really couldn't get any worse, now could it? But as little as we know, Daniel will have done something that would give him controversies. In late August in 2020, the site was region locked temporarily outside of the US and Asia. Rumors began to surface that the owner decided to follow privacy laws of the EU and countries that had followed suit, prompting even more artists to move away from the site, even though at this point almost all of the few webcomics were still getting regularly updated and that there were mirrors that were also hosted elsewhere. Finally, November 3rd, 2020, Daniel Lieber declared that the site would be closing in December 31st, and all attempts to access Smackjeeves would now result in a redirection to Pocket Comics.
Wait, Scott!
They're leaving.
Johnson, abort! Abort!
What does abort mean?
Give up on plan A, go to plan B!
But that would mean...
We have no choice.
And just like the ancient Mayans predicted,
Smackjeeves
would one day end because of
Daniel Lieber.
Don't look it up. Just trust me on this one.
Meep meep.
Some people were upset at the fall of Smackjeeves. It was a great website, after all. But time has changed, and there are times it's not for the better. One must wonder what goes on in the mind of Daniel Lieber. He must have gotten more and more frustrated with Smackjeeves' gained decline in quality and popularity, so he decided to just give up and pull the plug. At first, it looked like all is lost, both figuratively and literally. All of that work and effort those artists have made into their comics, gone! Never to be viewed again! Now, it only seemed like that, at first. But on Monday, January 18th, 2021, there was a shimmer of hope. According to a Reddit post, link will be in the description, some very nice people have managed to save and salvage most of the comics, approximately 34,757 of 36,100 comics. This was a blessing. Finally, we could go back to those comics we have read before in our lives. Unfortunately, this also means the comics that didn't get preserved or hosted are now lost forever. But at least they saved most of them. That's the important part. Who knows? Maybe the preserved comics can be rehosted like the other ones did, like all the other aforementioned webcomic sites, or even on DeviantArt. But where are they preserved at? The answer is quite simple, really. They're just sitting there relaxing in the web archive. The link will be in the description. That's a good thing too. Rest in peace, Smackjeeves. You will be missed. You had a good time with us. Too bad it was short-lived. Better to find a good website and then lose it than never to find the website at all, I guess.
Guys, I found something more interesting than your web show. A hole in the ground. Come on!
Wow, what is this?
Oh yeah guys, one more thing. Here's a new update on my channel, which involves the comics formerly hosted on Smackjeeves. I am gonna show them to you. I'm not really saying I'm gonna show them all at once, cause that's gonna overfill my channel and oversaturate them. So I'm just gonna limit them all to the Sprite comics instead. The reason for this is because I am planning something big, which involves Sprite animation. If you know about my older videos, you know about my Sprite animated series, Sprite Show Smash, which I'm probably gonna rename as Super Smash Bros. X. You might be wondering by now, what does my Sprite series Sprite Show Smash have to do with the Smackjeeves comics? Well, I'm not really gonna spoil it to you, you're just gonna have to find out and wait. But what I will say though, is for it to work, you have to know about all the Sprite comics I have shown you before I show it to you on Sprite Show Smash. And you're probably gonna think it's gonna be a little familiar to something. Familiar to an upcoming series, I might add. So a big shout out to this video sponsor, KRITA. Drawing software can be expensive, especially Photoshop, but KRITA is totally free. KRITA is also more better for painting than Photoshop. The link for KRITA will be in the description. KRITA's interface gives you quick access to study your features without getting stressed by advanced software like Photoshop. This simple software makes it easy for you to learn without frustration or confusion. And unlike Photoshop or just Adobe in general, KRITA has all of its versions available. And plus KRITA is quite popular. So what are you waiting for? You'll be quite intrigued when using KRITA. Use your KRITA today.